What's going on, guys? It's Mookie Betts here. Today we have a very special day. I've been up all day. You know, I'm a 2024 World Series champion. Then I'm having a little get together at the house. We got some of the boys come on here. We talked about the games, their perspectives. We got a few things to talk about, so you will enjoy. I want to talk to you because, you know, this year was a rough one for you, bro. Like, you've never really dealt with like injuries for you. Like, you've had a pretty clean career. So how was that mentally for you? I want to hear your perspective, but one thing that people don't know is I want to say we were down 5 early, and the energy wasn't great in the dugout. Now, obviously we're down, so everybody's kind of down a little bit. And I remember I was sitting right next to you, and you just, I don't know, maybe you were stuck off in space. I don't know. Something happened, and then you just all of a sudden turned and was like, all right, guys, let's go, let's go. You started smacking the railing and getting everybody going, like, and I think that, I'm not saying that's the reason why, but I think that really helped us get back going. And so I want to hear, like, from your perspective, seeing us go up 3-0, then get hit in the mouth a little bit there, or I'm sorry, lose a game, then get hit in the mouth early after losing that game. Like, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, hey, when you're on the bench, you just do whatever you can. You know, KK knows, like, we're trying to be the energy when there's not energy. You know, you guys are hitting and doing your thing, and it's all good. Like, there's not a lot of stuff you need from the bench, right? But it helps, and I say that's all the starters too. Like, when we're not pitching, being in the dugout matters. Like, walking back after a bad inning and seeing nobody in the dugout, like during the regular season, you don't want that, right, you know, as a position player. So just try to tell the guys, like, you know, hey, do your part. Like, hey, as a starting pitcher especially, or a bench guy, like, if you're not playing every day, there's something you can do. Like, if there's no energy in the dugout, if a bad inning happens, like, yeah, it sucks and it doesn't feel good, and sometimes they're down, or sometimes they have bad at-bats or bad innings, but you just try to do your best to pump everybody up. And especially when you're not playing, you don't have any control over it. You just try to help as best you can. And we had a good bench squad.
Mm-hmm. You guys are awesome, bro. You guys were awesome on the bench.
Look, man, we couldn't do a lot on the field, but we tried our best in the dugout, and it helped us feel it. I mean, I know it helped me feel part of it too.
Nice. I know Tommy Tanks. Obviously, we played against each other for years, but like, I don't really know what you're about. You know, I'm getting to know you a little bit as a person, but also not as much because we were both hurt. Yeah. You know, what was it like knowing that you were coming over to the Dodgers and you're still hurt?
Yeah. I remember when I was in St. Louis, whenever we'd go to play the Dodgers, either at LA or at our place, we'd be like, all right, we're in for a dogfight. Like, it's going to be a hard 3 or 4 games. You know, we had that 21 wild card. This guy had a walk-off homer. Yeah. You know, I thought we played our best game that day, and then we ended up losing because of freaking CT over here. And then we had that series in St. Louis where I think Freddie goes 14 for 15 or something like that.
Stupid.
And I was just like, dude, these guys are unstoppable. So I was honestly just kind of glad that I didn't have to play against the Dodgers anymore, and I got to be, you know, part of the team. And then I know being injured, like, it was weird getting traded being injured, but I think it helped out a little bit. Like, obviously it sucked that you were injured too, but since we were both kind of going through the same thing, you know, we were able to work on our swings together. I know you showed me a few really good things about my swing early on that kind of helped me out and helped drive me through the season. So, you know, I didn't really know what to expect because obviously you're a superstar of baseball, but you know, getting to learn from you, like, I didn't know if you were kind of gonna be like doing your own thing or like, you know, obviously you helped me out a ton, and I really appreciated that.
Of course, bro.
So it was, you know, everything I could ask for sure.
And then you go in because you were hurt, and then I mean, I know it's been talked about a 1,000 times, but like, dude, from my perspective, it was the coolest thing in the world seeing you win CS MVP, because you don't know like how much you made us go. Like, you really helped us go. Like, you right where you were, wherever you were, really. It was like, you have to keep him off base, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? You're like, and I really grew to appreciate who you are as a player, because I mean, I love playing with you, and taking Tommy Evans any day of the week. And so I want to thank you, bro, because that was awesome.
I appreciate that. I just felt like I was trying to keep up with everybody else.
Nah,
you know?
it was good.
I think that is a big thing with what makes us such a great team, though. You know, like you see all the greatness around you, and you're like, shoot, I gotta work even harder to be, you know, to do that myself and just be able to contribute. So
yeah.
you know, I think that's what, you know, when you have the best players on the team that are some of the hardest workers, you know, that's
Makes it
inspires
easy.
everybody else for sure.
Very easy.
Yeah.
So I want to, with Muntz and CT and Freddie, we got our ass waxed last year.
I mean, let's be real, last 2 years.
Last 2 years, really, yeah. Got our ass waxed. And so going into playoffs, I'm going to tell you what my thought was. It was, all right, Mook, you sucked last year. Sucked. And with this group of guys, you don't have to be good, bro. Just do okay. If you do okay, these boys will take care of the rest. And so that was, selfishly, that was my thought, was like, Mook, you gotta show up for the boys, because if you show up for the boys are gonna show up for you. And that was my thought going into this, and that was, I know it was super selfish and whatnot, but I want to hear y'all's perspective on what we were gonna do different, or what you were gonna do different.
You know, for me, I've always felt like my game is like as, you know, simple as it is. I'm either gonna walk, or I might get you a home run, or I'm gonna be out. But like, I'm gonna see 7 pitches in the bat for you boys. Let you guys see what he's got. Work the pitcher a little bit. Like, for me, that's how I've always been.
So you didn't really have to do anything different. It was like, this is what I got.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That first series against the Padres, every game I had trouble eating. I was nervous. I was like,
what?
After the last 2 years, it's like, man,
we can't lose to them again.
well, it was more like, man, you got to do something. You got to get on base somehow. You can't be an absolute zero out there. And so it was just like that first series, man. I told Kelly, like, after we won that first series, we played the Mets, and I was like, it was like so relaxing.
Yeah. And I think all of y'all would agree, like, that Padres team was the best team. They were the best team.
Best team and the hardest atmosphere to play.
Hardest atmosphere to play. Like,
I mean,
shout out to y'all at Petco. Like, y'all, that's a great, like, y'all support y'all's team. I mean, we got one of these though, but you know, y'all support y'all's team. You know?
Yeah. So, but like, you know, I just felt like once we got past that Padres series and like going into that, you know, I don't know how many times we talked about it. Like, hey, we got to change how we do things. And like, you know, when we played them 2 years ago, we went down there, we stayed an hour away in that resort. Yeah. Everyone drove down by themselves. It just felt like a vacation. Like, there was no way we were going to win that game. We didn't have a workout on the off day. It was just like, hey, free for y'all. Y'all do whatever you want to do. And so for me, just going into that, it was like, hey, we got to change how we do things as a team. And, you know, I don't know how many times you and me talked about it.
Yeah,
it was like
a lot.
We got to change this.
So, Freddie, I know you hate talking, so thank you for coming.
I think what's so special about this team was, everyone heard it. Everyone understood their role. They didn't try to be someone else. Everyone was just doing their part. And I think that's what made us so special this year. And, you know, thankfully I was able to get